Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Richard and I'm all in for electric cars. As anyone who watches our channel will know, this is a little Peugeot E208 we're just picking up. But when it comes to towing with electric cars, that is a bit more of a challenge because trailers are heavy. If you have stuff like this is a triple axle Brian James with a car on top of it. There's not much that can tow this kind of weight, and if it is electric, then you have a limited range, because when you're towing, you're at least half the range typically if you're towing anything of any weight. There's not many cars that even tow more than 2 tons if they're electric. There's a couple out there, but not much, and the range is limited. So not many people know, but in the background I do also retain a Land Rover Discovery that I've got, which I use occasionally, and only occasionally, when I've got to tow this trailer. But today, I'm going to try something a little bit different. This over here is a BMW X5 45e. It's a plug-in electric hybrid with a 3-litre twin-turbo petrol engine as well. The good thing about the X5, and I'll do a separate video about the X5 45e because it's a very, very good car. The good thing about this is got a proper size battery, 24 kilowatt hours in this version. The latest ones even have bigger battery. But that means with this car here, it can do, well, I can get about 50 electric miles out of this. Excuse the aeroplane. I can get about 50 electric miles out of this car, which is good for all my commuting and the school runs and everything like that. But with that engine as well, it can tow up to 2.7 tons. So what's it going to be like with a plug-in hybrid electric towing a rather heavy trailer? So that Peugeot there is about 1,500 kilograms. The trailer alone is about 750 kilograms. So we're up to about 2,250 kilos on this rig that I'm towing at the moment. Now it can tow, like I say, 2.7 tons, so we're well within capacity of this. And this is a factory fitted tow bar, which is electric, which is great. And this car has some great stuff, but like I say, I'll do a separate video about that, just a review of this car, because there's lots to say about it. But this video is going to be about what it's like towing over 2 tons. What efficiency can I get? How does it tow? Does it handle it? How does it cut between petrol and electric? I might try it just on electric to begin with only, just to see how far I can really get on the electric only, and then it'll go to a hybrid mode. Let's see what it's like. The BMW X5 45e towing a pretty decent rig. It's a warm day today, so it's about, well, it says 22 degrees, but it feels pretty warm in the sun, eh? So I'm starting off here and I'm going to reset trips. So I've got about 80% of the battery there, showing a range of 37 miles. Now we did drive up here with an empty trailer. So let me first talk about that, because the empty trailer, that one there, is actually quite bumpy, and different cars behave very differently. So when I tow with a pickup truck, it really shudders the cabin around. As you drive it, you really shake around. And I think that's because the tow bar is so far back from the rear axle in a pickup. And I've tried several pickups, Amarok, Navara, Ranger, and they can pull the weight, but especially when the trailer's empty, they're pretty shuddery. You really feel the trailer bouncing around. The good thing about a Land Rover Discovery is that, I think probably because the car's so heavy and the distance from rear axle to tow bar, plus the air suspension, of course, means that it's very smooth. It handles an empty trailer and a full trailer really well. How did the X5 do with the empty trailer? It was pretty good, wasn't it, again? I barely knew it was there. It was in line with the Discovery. At higher speeds on the motorway, a few sort of sets of bumps could shake the trailer, which you just about notice in here, and you can hear it rattling around at the back, of course. But it so far has behaved really well. Very comfortable car, this, and there's lots of adjustable seats and air-conditioned seats and lovely bits, which I'll tell you about in a separate video. Right, let's go to drive. So about 2.25 tons on the back here. Let's just go to electric mode. Does it allow us to do that? Yes. The car knows the trailer's connected, so it's already enabled trailer mode, which means it adjusts how it adjusts sway assist and air suspension leveling and stuff like that. Let's just see what we can do with electric only mode. It says 36 miles of range as we pull away here now. Right. Well, first thing, I mean, the thing about electric is it is very good for towing, because it's torquey, it's instant, you haven't got clutches to engage, so it is good. So typically what this car does, it has electric only mode, which means it uses electric as much as possible. And like I say, in normal driving, I can do 40, 50, even 60 miles in this car. It's very good, and it's got a pretty good ample turn of speed, so you just keep up with all the traffic. You can drive at motorway speeds in it. But I think towing this trailer is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to keep it within its power band where it just uses electric only. And it's all right, isn't it? I barely know it's there. Let me come around this roundabout here. But what this would be interesting to do, it really does show cars when you're towing how their suspension works, how torquey they are. So as well as the electric motor in this, it's got a 3-litre petrol engine with twin turbos. So this car, without a trailer, really flies. Towing, especially in the UK with petrol engines, is unusual. If you're going to have a big SUV for towing with, it's always diesel, pretty much, because you've got the torque of the diesel and the efficiency. And the Land Rover Discovery is brilliant at towing. That's the one thing you do have to give it. So this is electric only, 35, 40, 45, 50. You actually still feel it goes through the gears and the gearbox anyway. It's an 8-speed gearbox in this. So I think the electric motor is part of the gearbox, so you actually feel it just about, only just, going through. And again, driving this car, I can tell you now, when you're just driving normally and the petrol engine does come on, you barely notice. It's very smooth transition and it's very quiet. And actually, if you let it really put your foot down, let it rev out, you're in sport mode, it sounds rather good as well. Not that you can hear much of it, but here we are now, just cruising at 50 in electric only.
I'm surprised that it allowed to tow.
Yeah.
In electric.
I mean,
I thought it was going to kick to hybrid straight away.
Other than it being not quite as rapid, I barely know it's there really. Suspension's lovely. The thing is as well, this car's got just the most sublime suspension, and it's air suspension all round on the 45Es, but it's so smooth on the road. It's kind of Mercedes S-Class, and yet it goes around corners, but handling the weight here, a couple of bumps, still smooth. You do feel obviously the trailer just moving a little bit at the back, but this is on par with Land Rover Discovery for how settled it is over those bumps and absorbing bumps nicely. Of course, the car can absorb the bumps better than the trailer. It doesn't have much axle articulation. Well, yeah, that's fine. If I lift off, it's charging the battery. Down to 34 miles of range now. So now I've got about 75%. It's come onto the 75% battery mark there. Well, first impressions are good. Let's see where we go. We've got one more stop yet, and then we'll see how we go. Come to the junction here. Let's see how the thing about this car as well, what it does have is massive brakes. There's huge calipers, huge discs, and they're good. Oh yeah, they're good. They're better than Discovery, that's for sure. Right, on to the next destination. I've got to just put it in the nav as we go. We've got Apple CarPlay in this, so just pick that and off we go. What I wanted to do today really was actually tow with a Tesla Model 3, which will be pushing this much closer to its 2.7 limit. But we just picked up this Peugeot and it's very low on charge, so that's on the trailer. And that's why we have a trailer, because sometimes you pick up cars, you don't know how much charge it's going to have, maybe the tyres are a bit low. And the reality is that sometimes we have to pick up stuff with a trailer. And it's a shame, obviously I use electric cars daily and where we can, but I do have that Discovery just for trailering. So is this maybe the single car that would suit me better? I don't know, it's a lovely car.
I think you're just trying to find excuses to have it.
Is it a jack of all, master of none, you know, or is it actually very capable of everything? Certainly without trailers attached, it's a wonderful car.
I think I would call it jack of all and master of some.
It's probably a good way to summarise it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the other car then and we'll see how we go. So, I've been sitting through traffic coming to our second destination, which is only just over 10 miles away, and I've now got just under 50% of the battery. So, battery only towing through traffic with the air con on, so quite a few traffic lights and stop start. Obviously when you're pulling away, you've got all this weight to get going. It could potentially do about 30 miles electric only, even towing that weight. I've used about a third of the battery, just over 10 miles. I'm quite surprised. I thought it might be less than that. So now just leaving the second collection point, so straight back to the unit now. Which is about a 60-mile journey. I've just reset the trips from there, so I'm leaving there with between a quarter and a half of battery. It's showing 11 miles of range. I've got just under half tank of petrol showing 140 miles of range. Reset the trips, so let's see what we get for miles per gallon. As I sit in traffic, of course, the engine's off, which is lovely, but with not much battery, of course, we're going to have the engine cutting in and out. It's in adaptive mode, which means it will use petrol when it thinks it's best and then switch to electric when it thinks it's best there as well. So let's see what we get and how would the efficiency compare to towing this with something like a Land Rover Discovery or 3-litre diesel SUV of some sort. But even here, as I'm just driving around through a bit of traffic, just electric, lovely, great. I'm really surprised just how good it is on electric only. I think electric motor is like 100 horsepower's worth, but of course quite torquey. And it's that torque which is really important towing. and it's great. Anyone who's driven down the A31 from kind of Farnborough down to Winchester, I'm about to reach Winchester now and join the M3 motorway, you'll know that road is largely dual carriageway, 70 miles an hour roundabout, 70 miles an hour roundabout. So there's a lot of stops starting, you know, slowing down. The powerful brakes on this are lovely, really nice sharp bite, very strong. Obviously the trailer's braked, but nonetheless you can feel the bite on these is much more confidence inspiring in the Discovery. And you can feel they're very powerful brakes, which is exactly what you want. And the other thing that's good as well is it does have plenty of power. So it might be a petrol, but the gearbox, as I'm going up the gears now, you can't even tell. It's just, I'm not even using 50% of the power, and it effortlessly pulls off the roundabouts. Really smooth gear changes, quicker gear change than Discovery. And then you've got the kind of electric motor there as well, so that's got that consistent torque pull to it as well, so it's great. It also doesn't get moved around at the back, so some cars you can just kind of feel that the weight of a trailer like this can move it around quite a lot at the back, but this is planted. Great big 315 tyres at the back, low profile tyres. These are 21-inch wheels on this one, well, fairly low profile, but 315 tyres are wide, not big sidewalls. So again, it actually means that there's no kind of movement sideways. So as you're going around, it doesn't move about, which is great. Now, this is where you need power. So I'm coming onto the slipway onto the M3, and here is quite a steep hill. Let's move the camera around. So here I'm doing now 30. Now let's accelerate a little bit more, because I really got to get to 70 as you got this hill. So there we go, 50, 55, 60, easy. I'm up to speed, going up a hill, about to join a motorway. In fact, they're all braking up here, so in retrospect, no need to go to 70, but it's times like that, going up a hill, joining with a motorway, that you do want a bit of power to a car. And for example, a Discovery 3-litre SD V6 is great, that has plenty of power to it, and it is a fantastic tow car, but this happily keeps up with that, that's for sure. So combination of powerful twin turbo 3-litre engine, still got some capacity to it. You think of something like a Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid, smaller drive battery, so you can't go as many miles electric, but it's a 2-litre engine, highly turboed. And when you're towing, there's that saying, there's no replacement for displacement. You do want a bit of guts to it, like natural guts to it, and this has got that. It's good. What's good, like, so now I've used all that power coming up the hill to join the motorway. Now I'm just crawling in traffic, engine's off. In fact, as I now go slightly down the hill at Winchester, it's recharging the battery, so it's using the regen to recharge the battery a little bit. Engine's off, don't need that. Air conditioning is going away, lovely cold air conditioning in here. I've got my air conditioned seat on, tons of adjustment in the seat as well. This bit adjusts separately from that bit, and the bolsters come in. It's fantastic seat to be in. So this car, the X5 45E, like I said, I'll do a separate video because there's a lot of really wonderful things about this car. I really like it. One thing I would like to see in this car is that you could look at the rear view camera whilst driving, which you can't. There's a button down here for showing the rear view camera, but it only comes up when you're parking. It is quite handy to have that option, so you can just see down at the tow hitch and that. Not that it's sort of that useful, but it's nice to check, because sometimes things like your jockey wheel can come loose and drop down and roll along the floor. It's just nice to see that all the safety cable, the wiring's all still connected nicely and all that kind of stuff. So it would be good to have the option of showing the rear camera whilst you're driving. Back at base. Right, let's have a look at the numbers. Let's make sure it's in park. And this is against Volkswagen trailer behind me. Plug that car in. So let's have a quick look at the efficiency figures. And we've got driving information, journey data. Turn the music down. Look, 27.4 miles per gallon. That's good in the scheme of things. So that was 63.6 miles. Interestingly, 21.2 miles of that were just on electric, and that's it. So a third of the journey was on the electric. And remember, I didn't start with a fully charged battery from that leg of the journey. I had, it was about a third of the battery, so it could do more miles per gallon if you started with more electric. Of course, it could do less if you didn't have as much, but it was kind of increasing the charge and then decreasing it as we were, you know, as it needed to. So when I came off the motorway, it had some charging, which it then used as I was driving through the very pretty New Forest. So at least it's not just about fuel economy, it's about being green and in the right places. It feels nice when you're going through the New Forest next to all the ponies and the horses and the wildlife and the lovely trees and scenery when you're not putting out emissions. And what's interesting was that this car's got the power to drive quite normally in just electric only. I was a bit worried whether the electric wouldn't really have anything, so it was just running the engine all the time, but not at all, no need for that at all. 27 odd miles per gallon is good. So let me give you a comparison. I'm very used to driving such trailers with different vehicles, but a Land Rover Discovery 4 3-litre SDV6 is my main tow car that I've used recently. That would have got about 22 miles per gallon on that. In fact, it would only get to about 27 with the empty trailer. And then you can get in the 30s without a trailer. This can be lots without a trailer. So for example, now I will literally charge this car off my solar roof here at work, and when I drive home, that'll be emission free and no petrol used at all. In fact, we're about to go into the weekend. I won't need to use fuel again, and probably until the next time I tow if I use this car. So that's where then the overall efficiency is really great. But actually even then, that's a good number, I think. 27 miles per gallon with towing 2.25 tons. That's good, that's good. So really pleased all round with this car. Like I say, we'll do another video just about this car because it's one of those cars that surprised me just how good it is. It really is wonderful. With some great features in it, from heated and cooled cup holders to massage seats to a sky roof and all this kind of stuff. So it's really good. So stay subscribed and I'll follow this up with another review of this car overall. And there they are, they're already undoing the trailer, I think, and unhitching. It's got an electric fold-out tow hitch, so once I've detached the trailer, I can fold the tow hitch in and not banging my shins on that. Even that's great. So, yeah, brilliant. BMW X5 45e, a great tow car. The mixture between electric and petrol, all working nicely. Loads of power, great brakes, and good efficiency. Better than a diesel, and of course, petrol here, at least, is quite a bit cheaper than diesel at the moment as well. So, yeah. I'm impressed. Really good car, really good car. So I hope that's been interesting. You don't see too many sort of towing videos with this sort of stuff, so I thought it'd be a good one to do. A bit impromptu, but hopefully it's been useful and interesting, so you can stay subscribed and watch us on the next video that's coming out. Make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications, and you'll see that video soon. Struggling to speak today. It's been a long week. Right, sun's out. Goodbye for now.